Trump betrays Zelensky and America for Putin's playbook. Today's fate is November 23, 2025. Oh, fuck me sideways, you incredible troublemakers. Pull up a chair and let me rant, because I am spitting mad about this slimy snake Donald J. Trump, straight up selling out Volodymyr Zelensky and every last shred of American decency by peddling some half-baked peace plan that's nothing but Vladimir Putin's wet dream, dressed up in stars and stripes like a cheap Halloween costume. And don't even pretend this is about ending the war with honor. No, this is betrayal on a biblical scale, where Trump's whispering sweet nothings to his dictator buddy about how Ukraine should just roll over hand over the Donbas and Crimea like it's loose change at a flea market, while he translates those Russian surrender terms into what he calls American rules, trying to gaslight the whole world into thinking it's a fair deal, when we all know it's a goddamn surrender disguised as diplomacy. I mean, come on, Zelensky's out there fighting tooth and nail against the fascist horde that's been bombing hospitals and schools for years, barely scraping by on our aid that's already too damn little. And now Trump, this orange traitor, who's been kissing Putin's ass since day one, is berating him in the Oval Office, calling him ungrateful and threatening to cut off the spigot unless he signs on the dotted line by Thanksgiving. Like that's not the most tone-deaf holiday flex ever, because nothing says family feast like forcing a war-torn nation to capitulate while you're carving the turkey with J.D. Vance cackling in the background, and the hypocrisy burns brighter than Trump's spray tan, because back in 2019, this clown got impeached for shaking down Zelensky over dirt on Biden, shaking him down like some mob boss for personal favors. And now here he is doing it again, but on steroids, pushing this so-called plan that European allies are screaming is straight capitulation, ceding land, paying reparations to the invaders, and letting Russia keep their ill-gotten gains, all while Trump brags on Fox that it's genius peacemaking that nobody else could pull off, like we forgot how he lost the first time by cozying up to tyrants. And now, with those Epstein emails dropping like confetti showing Jeffrey spilling to Russian contacts about Trump's dirty little secrets, the leverage it's got him by the balls, is obvious he's not working for America or freedom or any of that bullshit. He's dancing to the tune of his autocrat pals, because if he doesn't play ball, they'll leak whatever Epstein hoarded on his island romps and Mar-a-Lago gropes. And suddenly, the guy who promised to drain the swamp is drowning in it, terrified of the full files hitting the fan. Jesus Christ, I'm yelling at my coffee mug over here, because Zelensky's facing his darkest hour, corruption scandals ripping at home, the front lines crumbling, and Trump's not sending tanks or resolve. He's sending ultimatums that scream you fold or you're on your own, and it's got me laughing bitterly. Because this is what betrayal looks like. The guy who waves the flag hardest is the first to burn it for his own skin, saving the Epstein ghost that's haunting his every twitch. Now Europe is investigating Trump outed as Putin's SBY. UK connects Epstein bombshell to Trump. Oh, you fabulous fire starters, get your popcorn and your pitchforks, because I am about to unload this steaming pile of geopolitical horseshit that's got my blood boiling hotter than a witch's cauldron. And trust me when I say this isn't some tinfoil hat fever dream. It's the kind of dirty, interconnected web of spies, blackmail, and betrayal that makes Watergate look like a kindergarten pillow fight with that bloated orange puppet, Donald J. Trump, now officially outed as Vladimir Putin's personal errand boy, courtesy of the latest Epstein email dump that's got the UK media in a frenzy. Connecting dots that lead straight back to the Kremlin and Epstein's slimy Rolodex of power players who were too busy diddling kids to notice they were being played like cheap fiddles for foreign intel. I mean, holy fucking hell, just last week, the House Oversight Committee drops 20,000 pages of this pedophile financier's digital diarrhea. And bam, there, it is Epstein himself emailing some Norwegian bigwig Thorbjorn Jagland in June 2018, right before Trump slobbers all over Putin at that Helsinki love fest, offering up his so-called insights into how to handle the American idiot. Like he's the goddamn Rosetta Stone for dealing with a toddler in a tantrum, and he's telling Jagland to whisper in Lavrov's ear that Putin should chat him up, because Epstein's got the keys to Trump's pea-brain, saying shit like Trump just needs to be seen getting something it's that simple not. Complex at all, while we all watched Trump side with the Russian thug over his own intel agencies on election meddling like a whipped dog rolling over for belly rubs from the master. And don't think for a second this is coincidence, honey, because the Brits are all over this like white on rice, with outlets like the iPaper and the Independent screaming from the rooftops about how these emails scream compromat how Epstein was floating his dirt on Trump to the Russians like it was loose change at a casino. And now with Trump bending over backwards for Putin on Ukraine, caving on aid and floating peace plans that are basically surrender terms wrapped in a red bow, it's got everyone whispering that the spy game's afoot with Epstein as the middleman hoarding photos, tapes, whatever the fuck he had on Trump from those Mar-a-Lago parties where he spent hours with underage victims, according to his own emails to Ghislaine, that witch who's rotting in prison, and Mark Epstein, Jeffrey's brother, even emailing about asking Bannon if Putin had the pics of Trump blowing Bubba. Yeah, that's code for some nasty Clinton crossover, but the point is this whole network was buzzing with leverage, and Epstein was pimping it to Moscow like a discount arms dealer. Ha. I'm laughing so hard tears are streaming, because Trump's out there on Truth Social raging that it's all fake news, deep state bullshit, while his DOJ under that hack Pam Bondi is redacting files faster than a censor on steroids. But the UC's not buying it, they're connecting the bombshell to Trump's every twitch, from Helsinki to the recent Alaska summit where he and Putin had that hush-hush sidebar that stank of backroom deals. And now with Elon Musk chiming in on X, saying the files are buried because Trump's name's scorched all over them, it's crystal clear this guy's not leading America. He's auditioning for Putin's bitch seat, terrified that one leaked tape of him groping some Epstein girl, or worse, whatever golden shower nonsense the Russians peddled back in the dossier days, will end his clown show presidency before the midterms even sniff the horizon. But wait, it gets even more deliciously damning, because these emails aren't just chit-chat. Epstein's straight up positioning himself as the Kremlin whisperer, telling Bannon he needs boots on the ground in Europe to play the game, and then there's Larry Summers, that Harvard egghead, getting looped in, with Epstein trying to hook him up with UN big shots while warning him to steer clear of Trump because of his Putin proximity and mindless Castro rants like Epstein's, collecting these elite morons like Pokemon cards, all to funnel intel back to his Russian pals, and the UC's piecing it together with experts like Dr. Colin Alexander calling Epstein a massive narcissist who'd sell out anyone for power, no real loyalties, just a will to manipulate. And now with Trump stonewalling the full file release, and his MAGA zombies chanting lock her up about Hillary while ignoring their daddy's spy scandal, it's got me yelling at the top of my goddamn lungs. This is treason wrapped in treason, served with a side of pedo panic, because if Epstein was feeding Trump dirt to Putin, or vice versa, it explains every ass-kissing move from withholding Ukraine aid in 2019 to the current shutdown drama where he's prioritizing tax cuts for oligarchs over feeding federal workers, all while survivors of Epstein's hell are begging for the unredacted truth that could finally drag this spy into the light. Jesus Christ, the speculation is wildfire now, with Reddit threads blowing up about Epstein as Putin's asset, Mossad ties be damned, because the Russian angle fits like a glove, explaining why Trump treats NATO like a bad ex, and why he's got that deer in headlights look every time someone mentions Helsinki, and I'm cackling maniacally, because the free world's waking up to the puppet strings, with even Fox hosts squirming as the UK press hammers home the blackmail angle, pointing to Trump's private Putin chats as proof of leverage, and if these files ever fully drop unscrubbed, which they will, because leaks are inevitable, we'll see the full freak show of how a New York hustler became Moscow's mole through one sick financier's blackmail buffet. This isn't politics. This is a goddamn spy novel gone wrong, with real lives ruined, and now Trump's term collapsing under the weight of his own skeletons while he flails and lies like the cornered rat. He is so keep your eyes peeled, darlings, because the outing's just begun, and when Putin pulls that Final string, watch the whole orange facade unravel in glorious, humiliating technicolor. And now, my loves, listen to this. Trump hit with nasty surprise at Mar-a-Lago seconds ago. Oh, you delicious chaos agents, strap in and pour yourself something strong, because I am about to eviscerate this fresh-from-the-oven disaster that's got the entire Mar-a-Lago swamp bubbling over with the kind of nasty surprise that even Donald J. Trump's spray-tanned ego can't dodge forever. And trust me when I say this isn't some fluffy wedding crash video going viral. No, this is the universe finally serving up a steaming plate of karma right in the middle of his Thanksgiving prep, where he's holed up at the club like a rat in gilded cheese playing president while the government shut down. Drags on into week 4, leaving federal workers starving and airports a total shitshow, all because he won't sign a budget without his deportation fever dream attached. And now, seconds ago, or close enough for government work, the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office drops the hammer announcing a full lockdown of South Ocean Boulevard starting tomorrow at 5 a.m., shutting down that scenic stretch from the Southern Boulevard Circle all the way to South County Road for who knows how long, because Trump's rolling in for his 15th joyride to the island since slithering back into the White House, and it's got locals losing their minds screaming about traffic, nightmares, bridge delays, and the sheer audacity of this clown treating taxpayer-funded security like his personal valet service while he's out there golfing with billionaires and plotting how to sell out Ukraine to Putin without anyone noticing. I mean, come on, people, the FAA's already slapped temporary no-fly zones over the airspace for November 25 through 30, turning the skies into his private playground, and the Coast Guard's tweaking bridge schedules to bubble wrap his ass. But this road closure, it's the cherry on top of the entitlement sundae that's got even some Florida Republicans muttering under their breath, because last time he pulled this stunt back in October, the backups stretched for miles, and folks missed flights, doctor's appointments. Hell, one grandma told the local news she sat in gridlock for 2 hours just to grab groceries. Like, that's not the definition of a nasty surprise for everyone, except the king of the cul-de-sac, who thinks shutting down public roads is his God-given right as long as he's got a MAGA hat on crooked. And I'm cackling like a hyena in heat, because this comes hot on the heels of that pathetic wedding crash last week, where he barged into Mike Wilkerson's nuptials uninvited like the ultimate party foul, yelling about Eric Medixus being the guy who's going to get him into heaven, as if God's got a fast pass for serial liars and Epstein buddies. And the videos blowing up online with Medixus himself posting it on Insta looking all awkward, replying, not here, like, dude, even your holy roller pals know you're full of shit. But that feel-good fluff is nothing compared to the real gut punch hitting now, with the shutdown biting harder than a gator in the Everglades, and Trump's over there at Mar-a-Lago sipping Diet Cokes with Brett Baer from Fox, turning the ballroom into his personal echo chamber for another great Gatsby-themed bash, just days after the Halloween blowout, where he's toasting with the elite, while tens of thousands of his own employees are lining up at food banks, scraping by on credit cards and plasma donations, because this genius can't math his way out of a paper bag, let alone negotiate a funding bill without holding the country hostage over his wall-wet dream. Jesus Christ, the hypocrisy. It's so thick you could spread it on toast and feed it to the homeless vets he's stiffing on benefits. And now, with these road closures sealing off the coast like it's his moat, the locals are flooding X with rants about how the club's already jacked up security to Fort Knox levels, complete with those creepy new barriers that popped up after the last visit, and protesters are gearing up to swarm the perimeter, waving signs about Epstein's ghost and Putin's puppet strings, because word on the street is that while he's barricaded in there, Kash Patel's FBI goons are scrubbing those client list redactions faster than you can say compromat to keep Trump's name off the naughty ledger before the full drop in 30 days. But wait, it gets nastier still, because buried in all this lockdown lunacy is the whisper from White House insiders leaking to CNN that Trump's pitching a fit over the optics, raging at aides about how the closures make him look like Marie Antoinette, with his let-them-eat-cake shutdown parties, and Even Gavin Newsom's out there memeing it with AI pics of Trump in a powdered wig captioned "Good night, peasants," like the shade is delicious and deserved. And I'm over here yelling at my laptop, because this is peak Trump, the guy who promised to fight for the forgotten man but can't be bothered to keep the lights on in national parks or pay the air traffic controllers who keep his fat ass from plummeting out of the sky every weekend jaunt to the golf course. Fuck me the surprise, it's not just the traffic jam from hell, it's the mirror finally cracking, showing the whole world what a petty, tyrannical joke he is hiding behind gold-plated gates while America bleeds out from his tantrums. And if that doesn't qualify as nasty, I don't know what does, because Zelensky is begging for bullets to fend off the bear, and Trump's response is to translate Russian surrender terms into his bullshit peace plan, all while dreaming of heaven from the bowels of his Palm Beach palace. But newsflash, Donnie, the only thing getting you through those pearly gates is a one-way ticket to the other place, courtesy of the victims you ignored, the allies you betrayed, and the country you turned into a punchline. So here's to the lockdown, baby. May it trap you in your own echo chamber long enough to choke on the truth. Oh, and dearest MAGA, I was not talking to you. I just want to thank you all, like, share, and follow to stay connected. I am Santiago del Carmen Maria, the Queen of Crowning Thoughts, because I say it like it is. Copyright 2025, independent writer, Crowning Thoughts truth speaker, AI video content creator, writer, blogger, Santiago, DC. Maria, all rights reserved.